Okay. Okay. My project was on anemia among the Maasai people, specifically sickle cell anemia. Um, so a little background, sickle cell anemia leads to the formation of some misshapen red blood cells, as is seen in this graphic right here. That's what it looks like when it's misshapen. It looks like a little sickle. Red blood cells are used by the body to transport oxygen from the lungs to all other areas of the body. And when they're sickle shaped, they're less efficient at carrying oxygen because of their reduced surface area. Um, to present with the full onset of symptoms, one must inherit the affected gene from both their mom and their dad, meaning it is a recessive disease. Incidence of sickle cell anemia is extremely high in sub-Saharan Africa, especially among the Maasai people, and this disease can be fatal. As a recessive disease, there is a possibility that an individual could carry the disease without presenting with the major symptoms. This happens when only one copy of the affected gene is inherited from either the mom or the dad, but not both. And this is shown in this graphic right here. So this girl inherited both sickle cell anemic genes. This one inherited neither, and these ones both inherited one. So only this one would present with the full onset of symptoms. These ones might experience a little bit of something, but their lives would be pretty normal. And this genotype has actually been selected for evolutionarily in the Maasai tribe because it prevents the malaria parasite from attaching to the red blood cells. Relating to the state of health pyramid, malaria occurrence is affected by both habitat and population. Those who carry no gene for sickle cell anemia are more likely to die from malaria, while those who have both genes and present with the symptoms of the disease will likely die prematurely due to anemic complications. Therefore, those who carry only one of the genes are most likely to reach reproductive age and to pass it on to future generations. And the inheritance probabilities is also laid out right here, as I explained before. So as shown in the graph, sickle cell anemia is mainly prevalent where malaria is present as well. This directly relates to habitat and behavior, as these areas and lifestyles are more likely to cause incidents of malaria. The Maasai tribe is one group that is heavily affected with malaria and has disproportionately high rates of carriers of sickle cell anemia. Only certain types of mosquitoes carry malaria, however, namely Anopheles mosquitoes. So the sickle cell anemia adaptation is only necessary in areas where those types are present as well. This also relates to physical geography and climate, as mosquitoes are contained in certain areas based on the ideal climate and habitat for their survival, which is different for different species of mosquitoes. Anopheles mosquitoes tend to live at lower elevations in warmer climates, and especially in areas with more vegetation. In comparison, the Culex mosquito prefers more urban areas and can survive in slightly cooler climates, usually at higher elevations. Culex mosquitoes are the main type found in Nairobi, but do not carry the malaria parasite. Therefore, Nairobi is considered a low-risk area for malaria. In comparison, down in the Rift Valley, that's where the Anopheles mosquitoes thrive, and it's considered high risk for malaria. So how does this affect population? Looking at a population pyramid, Kenya is pictured here as an example of a region where Maasai are present. It is an extremely youthful population. Sickle cell anemia generally only protects children under the age of 2 against malaria. However, in such a young population, this is a major percentage. The infant mortality rate in Kenya is about 32 deaths per 1,000 live births. This is reflected in the pyramid, as is seen in the slightly smaller bar representing ages 0 to 4. There's very little literature on the extent to which sickle cell anemia affects population, but with such a young population, it is likely that it has a fairly significant impact. The difficulty in confirming this hypothesis is it is often difficult to collect demographic information in rural areas in Africa. While it is estimated that 18% of children in Kenya are carriers for sickle cell anemia, the statistic is not concrete because there are so many untested people. This also begs the question of how rural to urban migration will affect the incidence of the anemia allele. As more people gain access to malaria treatment and move away from areas where it is endemic, will the need for carriers of sickle cell anemia decrease? I believe that we will see lower rates over the next few generations. However, so long as there are cases of malaria in sub-Saharan Africa, there will likely be higher rates of sickle cell anemia alleles when compared to the rest of the world. And that is all. That's my Works Cited page.